what's your name? Step into the ring of fame. Gene Genie calling your game. Cal Halbert in the Hall of Flames. Masks and capes, they're all the same. Heels and faces play the game. Pile driver, heartbeats claim. Cal will put you in the frame. What's your gimmick? Let it show. Gene Genie wants to know. In the spotlight, let it flow. Cal Halbert, steal the show.
Hello and welcome to What's Your Gimmick, the podcast where I, Cal Halbert, ask my friends the ultimate questions on their rise through their potential wrestling career. On the show today, we have me. I know, our first ever episode is going to be me telling you my gimmick. Now, this is where the idea of the podcast came from, is because I've been playing on WWE 2K games for years and years and years. I know it wasn't always 2K. I did SmackDown Know Your Role. I had SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. I had Here Comes the Pain. I had WrestleMania 21 on Xbox. I had Raw and Raw 2 on Xbox as well. I even had Crush Hour. That's how obsessed I was with wrestling and creating superstars, and SmackDown vs. Raw and SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, which is arguably the best version of that, all the way up to modern day. And every single time I've created superstars and made up my own backstories to what this superstar actually is. So what I decided to do is I thought, why don't I put it into a podcast? Because I am a stand-up comedian, and there are so many comedians that are big wrestling fans. And there's always a green room with a wrestling fan in that I can talk to, and I regularly come on to this subject, that this is the gimmick that I would be if I was a WWE superstar. So I think it's only fair that for the very first episode, I tell you my gimmick, and then for future episodes, I will have guests from the comedy scene and wrestling fans beyond to pitch me their wrestling gimmick. So I have been a wrestling fan since I was 7-8 years old. I remember one time I was flicking through the channels on Sky because, we must have had a deal because we did not have the money for Sky Television, really, to what my knowledge goes back to. Certainly not Sky Television with sports madness, but we had the entertainment package that had Sky One, and WWE used to put their shows on a Saturday morning, like the hour highlights would be on Sky One, and I remember flicking through the channels and I saw SmackDown. Was it SmackDown? It might have been SmackDown. I can't remember. All I do remember is The Rock was in the ring. And I dabbled with a little bit of wrestling back and forth because I had older cousins that liked wrestling, and I would know all about them. But this is my earliest knowledge of going onto television and watching WWE. And I saw The Rock, and I distinctly remember people in the crowds holding up these giant letters R-O-C-K that they'd cut out of cardboard and covered in tin foil and holding it into the crowd. I distinctly remember that, and I instantly fell in love with watching live wrestling instantaneously. So from about 7-8 years old, my favourite wrestler of all time is the one and only Eddie Guerrero. I just feel like he was the best wrestler of all time. I don't think you could get any better than Eddie Guerrero. He was an incredible face. He was an even better heel. I think Guerreros in general are natural heels. All the Guerreros you can think of, they are all exceptional heels. And Eddie Guerrero, for me, he was a high flyer. He was a technician. He had the lucha libre. He was a brawler. He was just perfect for me. And he could play a nasty villain, a humorous villain, a humorous face, and also quite a nasty face as well. He could just do everything for me. And so Eddie Guerrero is my favourite wrestler of all time. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going through all the questions that I would be asking the guests that are coming onto this podcast in future. And so this is a question that I want to put on because it's really, really hard to answer. And I've worded it this way so that it can be it can be interpreted in any way, shape or form that whoever I'm interviewing would like. And it is, who is on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling? Now, the reason why I've worded it like that is because it's difficult, isn't it? Because your personal Mount Rushmore of wrestling is just your 4 favourite wrestlers, and there's no wrong answer to that. If you're going the Mount Rushmore of who changed the business, to me, it's almost impossible to not have Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan on that Mount Rushmore. And I think that's how I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go with people like the Mount Rushmore for me of people that changed wrestling and made it into what it is today. So I think I'm going to go Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan. My third, I think I'm going to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think. And then the fourth one is really hard. Really, really, really hard. Because I honestly think that fourth one, if you're going changing the business, I really, really think that is generational. Like, obviously, I want to put Eddie Guerrero on there because he's my favourite wrestler. But can you argue anyway that Eddie Guerrero deserves to be on a Mount Rushmore of people that changed the business? I mean, there is the argument because he was kind of the first world champion that wasn't huge in terms of physical size. But so I think that there is an argument for that. You could put The Rock in there. You could arguably put John Cena in there. You could put Ric Flair in there in that fourth spot. So I really think it depends on what generation of wrestler, the wrestling fan you are that goes into your fourth one. As a Brit, I could put the British Bulldog in there, or I could put William Regal in there. And it's so difficult. It's so hard for that fourth one. So, so we've got Vince, Hogan, Austin. I mean, The Undertaker could go there as well. I don't know. Yeah. Is it Regal? Is it Guerrero? Is it... Kurt Angle could go there. Rey Mysterio could go there. Do you know what? I'm going to go Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And do you know what? Like, I thought about this so much, and I was like, I know who I'm going to go for. And even though I'm recording it, and I could edit this out, but I'm not going to, because I think it's important that I can't tell you who I think the fourth one should be on there. And I think that fourth one's interchangeable, depending on what mood I'm in. I'm going to say Eddie Guerrero on the sole reason of him being my favourite wrestler of all time. But I totally understand your argument why you wouldn't want him on there. But I can't decide who that fourth spot is going for. Question number 4 is, what is your favourite match of all time? Now, I've established that I'm a big Guerrero fan, and one of my favourite matches of all time is the Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania 20, where Eddie Guerrero retains the title by cheating to win, pretending he has the ankle injury. An incredible match, absolutely incredible match. Another match that I absolutely love as well, and for obvious reasons, I have to withdraw one of the superstars, is the 6-man tag from Survivor Series back in 2002, where it was Kurt Angle and somebody else, Edge and Rey Mysterio and the Los Guerreros, where it was a triple threat tag team for the titles, where the Los Guerreros ended up winning that by cheating as well. I thought that was an incredible match. And actually, I've just finished watching Monday Night Raw, and I'm recording this straight after Monday Night Raw, and that match that I've just watched between Jey Uso and Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship was sensational. It was a 10 out of 10 match for me. That was absolutely brilliant. And Jey Uso is the new Intercontinental Champion. Yeet! I'm all for it. Love it. That was a great match. Probably wouldn't put it in my favourite matches of all time, but because I've just watched it, it was absolutely sensational. So, I mean, the Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar No Way Out, where Eddie wins the title, but I think I'm just too emotionally attached to that. But it is a good match. It was a good match. I don't think I've ever been disappointed in a William Regal match. Always loved William Regal matches. I've always been impressed with high flyers as well. So like your Rey Mysterios, the cruiserweight division I loved in SmackDown, or in like the early days of SmackDown. Love the Cruiserweight division. But I think my favourite match of all time is the 6-man tag Survivor Series in 2002. Love that match. That's got to be up there. And number 5 is, what is your favourite belt of all time? Now, my favourite belt, I do like, the obvious is you go, well, it's going to be World Heavyweight or Undisputed, obviously. But no, my favourite belt is the US title when it was reintroduced in 2003, where it had the really clear US flag behind it. And it stayed that same belt for, I think it was about 2020. It stayed like that, apart from obviously changing the logo on it. It did like have a revamp of the logo change in like the early 2010s, early then. But the belt, the US belt from 2003 all the way up until about 2020, where it had the US flag nice and clear on it. I loved that belt so much, and I desperately wanted it. And I will be ashamed if anybody on this podcast ever says a spinner title. I will not be happy with it. Look, don't get me wrong. I like the gimmick, and yes, I did buy John Cena's album when it came out, and I liked the fact that the disc was printed like the belt and you could spin it in the case. I liked that, but I didn't like the belt. Didn't like it at all. So that is our preamble that I will ask every single guest that comes on this podcast. Now, what I've decided to do with these questions is I've kind of tried to storyboard it into sections of a signing, a debut, your roster and rise, and your final chapter. So we're going to take our superstars and our gimmicks on a bit of a timeline of their career. So let's start with the signing that we are going for, the signing section of this podcast. Number 1, you're walking in to WWE Creative. It's my chance. Now, what is your persona's name? Now, I thought about this so many times. It's changed numerous times. As a kid, I used to draw different outfits that I would wear and different costumes and different ring gear and different entrance stuff. But it's all gone now. And I am Gene Genie. Oh, yeah. I'm a genie. Yeah, the Great Gene Genie. That is who I am. That's who I'm billed as. Making his way to the ring, the Great Gene Genie. That's me. Oh, yeah. And how I imagine he would look is the image of this podcast with What's Your Gimmick. What I will say is I do not look like that. But I would, if I was a wrestler, I would try and look like that. That's how it would work. Where would I be billed from? Now, I live in Newcastle upon Tyne in England. However, I am a genie. So I'm obviously coming from a lamp, aren't I? So from the lamp, the Great Gene Genie. Or you just wouldn't say where I'm from, because I'm a genie. I can come from anywhere, can't I? You know? But I think if you have to, it's a lamp in it. You know, that's what it is. What is your backstory or origin? I'm a genie. What more do you possibly need, right? Long story short, someone found a lamp that was linked with WWE Creative. They rubbed the lamp. A massive wrestling genie came out. What more? There you go. That's the backstory and origin. What more do you need? How do you stand out from other superstars? I'm a fucking genie. All right? Name a genie. Nah. I'm the genie. I'm Gene Genie. The Great Gene Genie. That's how I stand out from other superstars. I'm a bloody genie, mate. That's what it is. What is your superstar's look? Well, obviously I'm blue. Don't give me this rubbish. Genies can be any... No, genies are blue. That's how it is. It's blue, and I'll have, like... I've always had arguments about ring gear, right? There are exceptions, don't get me wrong. But the vast majority of wrestlers always look better in the underpants. They always look better in them. And they always do their best work in underpants. There are exceptions, I'll be honest. Chris Jericho's not as good in his underpants than he was in his tights. Right? Eddie Guerrero would have looked weird in underpants. He looks better in tights. Like, you wouldn't have Kurt Angle wearing underpants. Are you mad? No, of course not. He wears the singlet. The singlet looks good. We like that. It works. You know, William Regal looked terrible in a singlet, looks great in pants. There you go, you wear underpants. Ric Flair, pants. Hulk Hogan, pants. Stone Cold Steve Austin, pants. The Rock, pants. They all look better in underpants. It's the way forward. However, I am breaking that, And Gene Genie is going to wear like puffy like ring attire. They'll look like genie pants. That's what I'm saying. They're going to be black and white and gold genie pants. So black and white is the link to Newcastle. Gold is a genie. The lamp is gold, right? And he's blue anyway, so you need something to clash with the body paint that you're going to be wearing, okay? And he's obviously, well, actually, he wouldn't be carrying the lamp. It's whoever is managing him, I guess, or whoever the owner. It'd be very similar to like the Undertaker's urn, I think. That's what the lamp would be like. Do you have a signature catchphrase or promo style? Well, he's going to be weird, isn't he? He's going to be weird because he's a genie. And his catchphrase will be, like, when he wins a match, he'll pick up the mic and go, "Wish granted, pain delivered." Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wish granted, pain delivered. Obviously, you can grant wishes, you see. There will be rules to it, so, like, he can't, like he couldn't say, "Oh, I want to be champion." No, I can give you a title opportunity, but I can't just give you the belt. You can't do that. You can't guarantee that you'll win the match. I can give you opportunities. I can give you stipulations of matches, but I will be granting wishes, so wish granted, pain delivered. That'll be the T-shirt anyway. 3 wishes. I want 3 wishes. Yeah, that's another T-shirt. You want 3 wishes? You get 3 wishes. Granted. Wishes granted, pain delivered. Oh, yeah. Are there any real-life inspirations to your superstar, either wrestling or not? Well, I think there will be. The idea of the lamp being very urn-like will be an influence from The Undertaker. I think, first of all, Robin Williams, I think he'll be an influence to me because I certainly want to be a comical gimmick character. That's what I want to be. I want to be a little bit mad, a little bit twisted, going, Robin Williams, up here, down, and it'll be like the Aladdin-style Robin Williams genie that I want, not the Will Smith one. I will take his slap as a finisher, but I won't have the Will Smith genie. No, it has to be the Robin Williams genie. So I think, I think there's some of the influences that would come in. I think that's what the influences of Gene Genie will be. And that is contract signed, my friends. We have signed with the WWE. We're going to have a look now at my debut. The debut of the Great Gene Genie. Now, the first question, of course, is which show do you debut on? Is it SmackDown? Is it Raw? Is it NXT? Is it something else? I can guarantee it. I won't be debuting on Velocity. That's not going to happen, okay? And the other tag-on question to this is what era? So I've decided I will be debuting on SmackDown. SmackDown was the show that I loved growing up, and the era that I want is early naughty SmackDown. So like 2001, the SmackDown with the fist. That's what I want. It's the best. It's the best set. It's the best set they've ever had. Is the fist through the Titantron on SmackDown. It's the best one. So like early 2000, I think it was 2001 the fist came in. 2001 fist through SmackDown. That's the SmackDown that I'm going to be debuting on. Is your standard go-to face or heel? I think it's going to be a face. To start with, I'm not to say I won't become a heel, but I don't think I'd be a very good heel. I'll try my best, but I honestly think I'll be a far better face, and I think the Gene Genie will debut as a face. Number 3. Is there any specific entrance theme or style you'd use? Standard ramp entrance, amazing pyro through the crowd, from the rafters, springboard. Is it a Guerrero lowrider, an Undertaker motorcycle, a JBL limo, or a Stone Cold quad bike? What is your entrance like? Well, I think it's obvious, isn't it? I'm coming down on a magic carpet. That's the way forward, isn't it? I will, however, accept the Paul Burchill rope coming in like a pirate. Do like that. Love that. So, but it has to be the magic carpet, doesn't it? Like loads of smoke. It'll have to all be blue. The whole arena will go blue. Loads of smoke, and then a magic carpet comes down, and it lands. But as it lands, we've got to transition the magic carpet out of there. So a huge pyro, and I want proper pyro every single time. Not just for main events. I want proper pyro every single show, even a house show, even on a dark match. Poof, that's what I want. Bang, and then the Gene Genie appears. That's what I want. That is what my entrance would be. What type of style do you embody? A high flyer, a brawler, a technician? I think I'm going to be a high flyer. I think I'd have to be. I'm a genie. You fly, apart from my magic carpet, but I will be a high flyer, but I can certainly pack a punch as well. I'm not, don't go thinking, oh, I'm just jumps and flips. I'm not, because I can pack a punch as well, all right? I certainly wouldn't say a technician. I don't think I've got the patience to be a technician, but I would be a brawler and a high flyer. I think it'd be a mixture of the two. How do you engage with the audience with your taunts? Are you an engager or an antagonizer? I think I'm an engager. I think I'd have to be. You can't be an antagonizer unless you're a heel, really. I think it would be like getting the crowd up and going and people chanting, Genie, 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 Genie. That's what you want, isn't it? I think that's what it is. What is your signature and finishing moves? What are they called? Well, I have the 3 wishes, which is a standing Shiranu. That's my main finisher, the 3 wishes. A standing Shiranu, straight over, bang, 1, 2, 3, done. 3 wishes, done. I also have a submission finisher, which is an armbar crossface, and that is called the Magic Carpet. Oh, yeah. A signature, I think a signature that I'd have would be like a big boot. I've always loved a big boot. Bang, big boot, done. And you could call that, I don't know, magic. You could call that the lamp. Yeah, you could call that the lamp. That's fine, isn't it? Yeah, call that the lamp. And you got the Magic Carpet, and you got the 3 wishes. That's my yeah. I think they're my signatures and finishing moves. And number 7, what notable weaknesses or vulnerabilities do you have? Well, it's whoever. Well, the obvious is whoever owns the lamp is my boss, isn't it? That's how it's going to work. So I have to do. If Paul Heyman owns the lamp, I have to do what Paul Heyman does, even if I disagree with it. That's just. Unfortunately, that's one of my weaknesses, and my vulnerability is if the lamp goes missing, the lamp goes missing, and whoever has that lamp is in charge of what I do. So that's my debut, and that's what shocks the wrestling world that people see. So my debut is over. I've appeared. Okay, and I'm starting now, right? I'm starting to build myself. I'm a standard solid member of the roster of SmackDown. That's where I'm at. So we're now looking at the roster and rise. So number 1 is, what is your ultimate goal? Are you going to be a WrestleMania headliner, a mid-card jobber, a tag specialist, or a record setter? I think it's hard not to say WrestleMania headliner, because everybody wants to be the WrestleMania headliner. But let's face it, when it comes to a gimmick, you pretending to be a genie, it's not gonna. I think the closest is it's like a Doink the Clown, isn't it? You're not going to be Doink the Clown. That's the level where I'm at. I'm a genie. I'm a painted blue genie. Can you see that as a champion? I can personally, but I totally understand if creative went absolutely not. But I'd love to be a WrestleMania headliner. I think I'd be a good tag specialist, because you'd be looking at the fact of who's got the lamp, that you're the one, so you just do as you're told. You could have a great tag team with Gene Genie. I think I might go tag specialist. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, tag specialist is what I'll go for. Number 2, do you have a match type that you're a specialist in? I might go multi-man matches, So like your battle royals, your over-the-top rope battle royals, your elimination chambers, your tag matches. I'd love to be in like a three-way tag match like that. Like my favourite match of all time. Gene Genie in one of the best matches of all time of a three-way tag match. Yeah, multi-man matches I think is what I'd be very good at. That's what I'm going to go for. Number 3. Creative have been talking. They've decided you can have your first title match, but you get to choose at which pay-per-view it's going to be. Which belt is it for, and do you win? Okay. Right, well, my favourite belt is the US title, as I said. And I think if I went for the US title, yeah. No, I have said I'm a tag specialist. I think I'd want to win it at No Way Out, I think. Because I've got a soft spot for No Way Out. I do like No Way Out. I think if I go for a singles belt and it's the US title, I think I lose. I lose that. However, because I'm a tag specialist, I'm going to win a tag match, though. Yeah, I'm going to win the tag. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to win the SmackDown Tag Team belts at No Way Out. And my tag partner is going to be William Regal. William Regal, as William Regal has the lamp. That's what we're going to have. Yeah, he's going to have the lamp from Blackpool, England. And his partner, Gene Genie. We're the tag, yeah. And we're going to beat Edge and Mysterio. That was it. They were a good tag team in that era. They're the champions. We get the chance. William Regal, power of the punch, Gene Genie, 3 wishes, done. That's it. Edge and Mysterio down. 1, 2, 3. That's it. We've won it. We're the tag champions. Yeah, I think that's yeah. So if we go for a singles title, it's the US belt. I go for the US Championship, and I face JBL for that, and I lose. Because JBL's not going to be embarrassed by a big blue genie. Well, as we know with the blue meanie. Although he did beat him up backstage. Well, no, Gene Genie is a professional. He will do whatever creative says. He's a professional. So JBL will beat me for the US title if we went for a singles belt. If we went for the tag team, me and William Regal beat Edge and Mysterio for our first ever title. Number 4. Which current or previous storyline would you have improved by being a part of? As we know, I have a soft spot for Eddie Guerrero. So I think I would have massively improved the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio storyline of the custody of Dominic Mysterio. And how would I improve that, I hear you ask? Well, guess who's got the lamp? Dominic's got the lamp. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. So Dominic, all the way through that match, can just control me to fix anything he wants. That's it. Any interference he needs, Gene Genie's there for Dominic. Dominic can do whatever he wants because that poor lad didn't know who his dad was and they were fighting for that, and Ray wins, but I think the outcome would still be the same, but I would improve it because Dominic would have the lamp. And actually, the only way he would get that lamp, this is brilliant. So, Eddie Guerrero steals the lamp from William Regal, lie, cheat, and steal. He steals the lamp and gives it to Dominic to try and get his, honestly, Dominic, no, you'll love it. It's going to be great. Hey, look after this lamp. That's it. And then in the match, Dominic uses the lamp against Eddie, so Ray wins. That's how I would improve that storyline. Yeah. The Great Gene Genie will improve the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, custody of Dominic storyline. That is the storyline that I would improve. Number 5. You win King of the Ring in your 5th year with the company. 5 years. Wow. It's your most notable achievement since your tag belt win. Okay. How do you deal with it? Do you embrace the King gimmick, or do you want people to see you as a serious contender for the title? I think I'd have to go comical King Genie. I think like a genie as a king. This could be good. I think it would start like how they have like a batty king, like when kings go a bit mad, and like they always have that king's lost the plot. That's it. I think it would start like that because he's a bit Robin Williams, as we said earlier. Be like, yes, I'm the king. That I'd like that. But then, as the king, he has a moment of clarity where, as the king, he demands that he has his own lamp, and then he's in control of himself. So for like 5 years, he has been. Yeah, so for 5 years, he's been like working his way around the cards, doing as he's told, all this sort of stuff. Then he becomes the king of the ring, and he demands his own lamp, and he then becomes his own boss, and he can do whatever he wants. And then he becomes a serious contender for titles. I think that's what I would do with the king of the ring. I know you're sitting there thinking, this is ludicrous, you've thought too much about it. Yes, I have. This is why I've done a podcast. I'll be totally honest. So that is my roster and rise section. We are looking at my final chapter as we go into this. Creative have decided you have a chance to headline WrestleMania and to contend for any belt you wish for by winning the Royal Rumble. But what number do you enter to win the 30-man match? Now, my arrogance says I want to enter number 1 and win it. That's what I want. And then I also want number 30 and and win it, because that'd be the easiest number. However, right, you've got to earn respect in the Royal Rumble. It's a tough match. Gene Genie is no Flair or Michaels. He's not going to go the distance. He's not going to do a number 2 spot or 3 spot like Rey Mysterio. Was Mysterio 2 or 3? I can't remember. But he's not going to go the distance that long. So I'm thinking late teens is when Gene Genie comes in. Like a 17, 18, 19. I think that's when Gene Genie comes into this match. And he takes it to the end. Right, and then, so he's going all the way through. People keep kind of forgetting that Gene Genie's there, but they love him because he's a fan favourite. He's in control of himself now, and he's in the Royal Rumble, and people are like, oh, we forgot Gene Genie was still in this. I'm not going to be one of those ones that rolls under the rope and just hides. No, I'm in that match all the way through, and it's going to be the final 4. A final 4 is going to be the Great Gene Genie, the Great Gene Genie, Batista, John Cena, so we can reenact that. Yes, reenact that where both of them go out, and William Regal. This is going to go full circle, where they're going to go, remember, William Regal and Gene Genie won their first titles together. Well, not William Regal's, but Gene Genie won his first title with William Regal. William Regal used to own the lamp. He used to be the boss. And so the 4 are the Great Gene Genie, William Regal, John Cena, and Batista. So they're looking at it, and William Regal's telling Gene Genie what to do, and he beats up Batista, and he beats up John Cena, and then Cena and Batista are both laid out, and William Regal then demands that Gene Genie gets out, like eliminates himself by going over the top rope, and Gene Genie's about to do it, and then he remembers that he owns the lamp himself. So then he turns on William Regal, picks up the lamp, lamps him, give him his own power of the punch, because he took out his brass knucks, and then, bang, lamp right to the head, standing Sharanu, 3 wishes, bang, he picks him up, throws him over the top rope, people are going, wow, Genie, 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 Genie. Gene Genie stood there, centre of the ring. You've got John Cena's down, Batista's down, Genie's stood up, William Regal's been thrown out. They look up at the WrestleMania badge, he points at it, William Regal slides in under the bottom rope, puts his brass knuckles on, bang! That's it, Gene Genie's knocked out cold. Done. That's it, gone. Cena sees this, Batista sees this. Cena and Batista are scrapping away, and Genie's laid out in the corner, knowing full well that this could be over. Who's headlining WrestleMania? It's going to be Cena or it's going to be Batista. That's what's happening. They're fighting. Exactly the same thing happens. They're about to go over, but Gene Genie suddenly pops up and pushes both of them out, and they both hit the floor at exactly the same time, and they're both looking at each other thinking, we've won this, and then they forget that the Great Gene Genie is standing in the center of the ring, pointing up at the WrestleMania sign, and everyone knows the Genie is going to headline WrestleMania. That is what's happening at the Royal Rumble. I've decided that's what's happening. Which title do you choose? For me, it has to be one of the big guys, doesn't it? You can't just go, yes, I've won the Royal Rumble. I would like to go for the Intercontinental, please. That'd be lovely. No, I'm going for the WWE Undisputed title, but like the version 2. So like the old school, like the early noughties, one of the era that I want to be in. So the one that JBL held, the one that Eddie Guerrero held, the one that Kurt Angle held, the older style one. That's the one I really like. I was never a huge fan of the World Heavyweight Championship. I was never really a big fan. I think it's because I was a SmackDown person. I always loved SmackDown over Raw. And our main title was the Undisputed Championship. You know, the one that Hogan had and Lesnar had, and but the heavyweight was always on Raw in that era. So I never really saw that as like the one that I would want to go for. So it has to be the Undisputed. I think it's the second version. Version 2 is what it calls. Who are you facing for said championship? I think it's going to have to be Kurt Angle. We're going for Kurt Angle. We are going to reenact the WrestleMania 20 match of Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero, but we've replaced him with the Great Gene Genie. Number 4. Kurt Angle sees you as a joke. He's so confident in his title defense that he lets you choose what type of match it will be. What do you go for? Okay. Well, this is a concern because I'm a multi-man match specialist, and I'm not adding people to the title bet, because even if you have a triple threat, I could not be pinned, I could not tap out, and I could still lose my belt. So I'm gonna. I'm a bit of a high flyer. I'm a bit of a brawler. I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna go ladder match. A ladder match for the undisputed title, headlining WrestleMania. The Great Gene Genie versus Kurt Angle. That's what we're going for. Yes. And the belts, yeah, I like it when the belt's hanging above the ring. That's what we're going for. A ladder match. Who wins? Me, the Great Gene Genie. Of course he does. He wins it. I'm not dropping my chance to Kurt Angle. He's held it for ages, I bet. I know he's an Olympic gold medalist, I know. And he won Olympic gold with a broken freaking neck. We know. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. We know. Oh, yeah. But the Great Gene Genie is going to win that match. And everyone loves him because he's an underdog. No one expects a giant blue Gene Genie, a giant blue Genie to be the face of the company. Genie's winning it. Who do you eventually drop the title to, and how long was your reign at the top? I don't want it to be a complete washout of a title reign. I think I'm going to lose it at Judgment Day. So that's about 2 months. 2 months after that, I'm going to lose my title. Yeah, I'm going to lose my title to Batista. I reckon I win against Kurt Angle. I defend it. Yeah, I defend it and retain it against Kurt Angle because he has his rematch clause. And then I'm going to lose it at Judgment Day to Batista because John Cena and Batista have a feud at the same time where they're saying, "Oh, like, who should have won that Royal Rumble if Genie didn't win it? It should be me." Okay, so I want to be number one contender. Batista wins that. I dropped the belt to Batista 2 months after at Judgment Day, which is June. Is it June? April, May, June. Yeah, Judgment Day's usually June, but no. So I lose it at Judgment Day, but I'm going to retain it against. I'm going to win it back. So I'll hold it for a couple of months. I drop it at Judgment Day, and people are like, "Oh no, is that it? All over? That was such a big build up for nothing." So I'll lose it, and then I'll win it back at Night of Champions. Yes, in June. So because Judgment Day's not far after, yeah, and then June is when Night of Champions is. Yes. So I lose it at Judgment Day. I win it back at Night of Champions. And then I finally do lose it at No Mercy in October. So I hold it for another 4 months. That's what I'm going to do. Hold it for another 4 months, and I'll lose it at No Mercy, and I'm going to lose it to Edge. Edge can beat the Genie. I'm all for it. Yeah. Okay. So that is my final chapter over, my friends. We have 2 final questions. 3-ish. And this is Hall of Fame or Hall of Flames? Number 1, are you fired or are you retired? So are the WWE going to wish me well on my future endeavours, or am I going to retire? And I've thought about this. I think I'll carry on floating around. I'm a former champion and stuff. I think the following WrestleMania, after I won the belt, I'm going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker, player. I'm going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker in a streak versus career match. So The Undertaker's streak hasn't been broken at this point, right? So it's going to be The Undertaker versus the Great Gene Genie in a streak versus career match. And I inevitably lose that match and I have to retire. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. I will bow down to The Undertaker. His urn is greater than the lamp, and it's gone. It'll be a tombstone pile driver. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give him the 3 wishes, and I'll give him another 3 wishes, and then I'll give him another 3 wishes, and he'll still kick out and sit up. And I can't believe it. It's how's The Undertaker done this? I know it's a streak at WrestleMania, but I'm going to beat him. But no, I go for a 4th 3 wishes. I jump up, Taker reverses it straight into a tombstone pile driver. 1, 2, 3. My career's over. Done. Number 2, are you a serious contender for the Hall of Fame, or do you become a forgotten legend? I think I think I'd become a forgotten legend. I'll be totally honest. I wouldn't be a multiple... Well, I would be a multiple champion because I'll win it, I'll lose it, I'll win it again. But I think I only win the top belt once. I think that's what it would be. So I think I'd be a forgotten legend. But then after time, you know how the WWE, they're running out of people to put into the Hall of Fame. So I think they'll get to a point where they go, just give it to Genie. They'll just put him in there. We ran out of people now. We need to put Genie in. So I think that I will be a forgotten legend. But after call from fans, call from Twitter, and it's X now, isn't it? People going, when's Genie getting into the Hall of Fame? It's ridiculous. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be, but I will be forgotten. People going, oh yeah, I forgot about him. But they go, no, you've got to put him in. Then after time, they'll go, right, yeah, we really are struggling for people. We're going to have to put Genie in. And I will go in, and I think I'll be inducted by the original owner of the lamp, William Regal. He's going to induct me into the Hall of Fame. That's how my career as a WWE superstar would go. The Great Gene Genie. Ladies and gents, I really hope you've enjoyed this podcast as much as I did. I know it. Look, I know full well that I was into Gene Genie far more than you are. But don't worry. Next week it won't just be me. Is it next week? Yeah, it will be next week. Next time it won't be just me. I will have a guest asking them about their potential gimmick. What's their gimmick? What is their potential career in the WWE going to be like? But ladies and gents, until next time, I'm going to wish you well on your future endeavours, and I'll see you next time. And there you have it, my friends. There is the most recent episode of What's Your Gimmick? Thank you so much for downloading and listening to this podcast. I really enjoyed doing it, and I hope you really enjoy listening to it. If you do, please give us a subscribe, tell your friends about it, and if you really want to, please give us 5 stars. That really helps other people finding the podcast. Until next time, my friends, see you soon.
Masks and capes, they're all the same. Heels and faces play the game. I'll drive a heartbeat's claim. Cow will put you in the frame. What's your gimmick? Let it show. Genie wants to know. In the spotlight, let it flow. Cal Howard, steal the show. Talk the talk and walk the walk. Give the crowd the wrestling shock. Turnbuckle dreams in concrete chalk. Gene will let the secrets unlock. What's your gimmick? Feel the fire. Cut a promo, lift you higher. Genie fuels the desire. Cal's your guide through the wire. What's your gimmick? Let it show. Genie wants to know. In the spotlight, let it flow. Cal Howard, steal the show. What's your gimmick? Let it show. Genie wants to know. In the spotlight, let it flow. Cal Howard, steal the show.
You've been listening to a Calvert Media production.